Welcome back to another episode of Hot Takes and Hot Rates. Um, if you watched the last video, you know that one thing I plan on doing over the next few YouTube videos is essentially taking newsletters that I've written and put out there already and kind of elaborating on them a little bit more in depth. So, with that being said, today we're going to go through a newsletter titled "You Have More Control Over This Than You Think," and it was inspired after just reflecting on giving clients options when we're in the gym together. So I'm going to read this newsletter to you and kind of elaborate on what I mean after each paragraph. A lot of people come to me feeling like fitness is something that's been done to them. A plan someone handed them, rules they're supposed to follow, a program that wasn't really built for their life, just kind of dropped into it. So we often call this spreadsheet coaches. Now I think writing down workouts and programs with sets and rep schemes and tracking the loads you do and how hard the set felt and how challenging it was and knowing what you're going to do the next day so you can mentally prepare for that and make sure that your training is aligned throughout the week. I do like spreadsheets. I do like tracking. Don't get it conflicted. But spreadsheet coaches typically give you a spreadsheet and they're like, here you go do it. There's not any rapport built. There's not any extra coaching on top of that where they're providing insight into why they're doing the training or asking how things felt or how things went or how your energy is for that day and do you need to adjust anything and what happened over the weekend and what'd you eat last night and how'd you sleep. This is what real coaching is, which is why AI will never replace real coaching. AI will replace all these spreadsheet coaches who are just providing programming and that's it, and it's over with, whether you're an online coach or you're in person and the client comes in and you guys don't have much rapport and you're not providing many substitutions or giving them coaching cues and genuinely coaching them. If you're just saying, here's your workout, this is what we're going to do today, and you just sit there and watch them and that's it, you will be replaced. If you're an online coach that just provides spreadsheets, you will be replaced. But if you're a real coach who coaches people up, you'll be around for a long period of time. But these clients wonder why they can't stick with it. And so here's something I do differently, and I want to be transparent about it because I think it actually matters to you. When I say to you, I'm speaking to my clients and to the other people that I might work with, I let you choose. That's the key. Underline that. I let you choose. Anything that I don't have a strong coaching opinion on, I put in your hands. Which days we train, which exercises you prefer when two options are equally effective. This one is key. I have so many clients that just hate certain exercises for no particular reason besides that they hate them. And so knowing what our goal is in doing this specific exercise, so why did I select this exercise? Is my goal I just want to isolate and hit the quads? Well, if I'm choosing the seated leg extension because I want to isolate and hit the quads, although it might be a great freaking option, maybe I have a client that hates the leg extension. So what are some other ways, some other exercises that they find more enjoyable or that they're willing to do that also isolate the quads? Now, need I explain to them that maybe this one's a little bit better, or more loadable than this one? Not really, especially gym pop clients. They don't really care. They just want to do what you're asking. So maybe they want to hit the quads, but maybe they want to do it in their own way. So, which exercise you prefer when two options are equally effective. How we structure your sessions around your schedule and your life. We have clients who come in at 5:45 and leave at 6:15. They love running, and so in between sets they go jog around the block. Is that the most effective way to train? Maybe not. But does it work for their lifestyle, what they enjoy, and does it help keep them consistent with staying active and showing up to the gym? Also, yes. If they want to double down on the fact that they want this specific goal or this specific goal, or they feel like they're not achieving this specific goal, then we can double down and be like, hey, these 30 minutes, your choice to go run around the block after each set, the timeline you're giving me, the constraints you're putting on me as a coach are limiting us from hitting that goal. So this is what would need to change, and we can have that conversation. But if that doesn't work for that individual's lifestyle, and when you start doing that and you force it upon them, they stop showing up, they're not as consistent, they don't enjoy their sessions, then is it really a better program? When you make a choice, you own it differently. You start to feel like you're not showing up to do something I assigned you, but instead showing up because you're here to do something you decided. That shift might sound subtle, but it changes everything about how you feel walking into a session, how hard you push when it gets uncomfortable, and how you talk yourself into showing up on the days you really don't feel like it. So, some clients of mine have come to me being like, hey, before we start, I don't want a drill sergeant coach. I don't want somebody, yelling at me. So, you know, I don't want to just be told what to do. I want to know why I'm doing it. And when people come to you telling you what they want to see and what they don't want to experience, it means they've probably already experienced that and they didn't really enjoy it. Your journey should actually feel like yours. The fitness industry has a bad habit of treating people like they just need to be told what to do. Follow the plan, trust the process, stop asking questions. And although that may work for some, it doesn't work for many. That's not how lasting change works. Lasting change happens when you feel genuinely connected to what you're doing and why you're doing it. When the goal is yours, ownership, understanding of where you're going and why you're going there. When the process reflects your real life, not some idealized version of it. This is really important. Having a why is so overused. Like, what's your why? What's your purpose? But when you can really identify the type of person you want to be, how you want to feel, how you want to be perceived, all of these things, when you really identify that, you can become more in tune with the behaviors and actions needed to become that version, right? And you can really grasp onto it and feel confident about why you're doing something. You can talk yourself into doing things that might feel uncomfortable or challenging because you identify or you understand who you'd like to identify as, or you already identify as that person, but in order to identify as that person, these actions need to be completed, right? So when the goal is yours, when the process reflects your real life and not some idealized version of it, so considering your surroundings, considering your lifestyle, considering your family duties, your work duties, like really understanding your individual process and having a coach that walks you through that and is there with you during that process and accepts certain realities that may not match up with their desires as a coach, then you got yourself a good situation. What this means going forward, if I ever ask you what do you prefer or which of these workouts are better for your schedule, that's not me being unsure. That's me making space for you to be an active part of your own process. And if there's ever something that isn't working, something that feels off, or something you want to do differently, tell me. That's not pushback. That's you doing exactly what you should be doing. This is your health, your body, your journey. I'm just here to make it sure it actually works for you. I wrote this newsletter after actually being frustrated as a coach from somebody pushing back or saying that they don't want to do this specific exercise, saying they want to, pair this exercise with this exercise, almost trying to create their own session, which was bothering me because I was like, yo, like, aren't you paying me to build out a program that's most effective for you? And, aren't you paying me for my expertise? Why are you trying to, like, manipulate and control the session? That's how I was feeling internally. Then I started to realize that there has to be a melding of those two things. There has to be a melding of my expertise and my background and my understanding of the human body and my care for this client and where they're trying to go, but also it needs to meld with their likes, their dislikes, the things that make them uncomfortable, the things that make them feel confident, their schedule, their emotional headspace that day. Like, you have to consider all these things. You have to meld them together, right? And it has to be a collaborative process with the client in order to actually establish habits and behaviors that will lead them to their health and fitness goal, right? So that's what this one was inspired by. It's titled "You Have More Control Over This Than You Think." It is Capital Gains Method number 20, right? So I just started titling these a little bit ago. CGM number 1, CGM number 2, so that you guys could go back and review these newsletters over time. So if you want to check that out, again, just check the YouTube description. You should be able to subscribe and see old newsletters. Coach Stutzer out.